this is Live in the Living Room.
Whiskey only does so much. It ends up being just a crutch, but it's the only thing that gets you off my mind for the meantime. So here's to another one of us. The neon's buzzing less than me, but it's shining brighter than when I made it here 2:45. Well, it's the only place that I can trust, so here's to another one of us. I miss you every night, and this is the only place and time that I can breathe. And I'll spend my last dime trying to drink you off my mind and head and buzz. So here's to another one of us. Karaoke calls my name to sing a song so they can join along and help me try to numb this pain. Another round and I'll kick up dust. So here's to another one. I miss you every night, and this is the only place and time that I can breathe. And I'll spend my last dime trying to drink you off my mind and head and buzz. So here's to another one of us. Here's to another one of us. You can find me out at Crossroads. I miss you every night, and this is the only place and time that I can breathe. And I'll spend my last dime trying to drink you off my mind and head and buzz. You can find me out at Crossroads. Here's to another one to us.
Welcome to episode 7 of Live in the Living Room. I'm your host Dom from Country Chat with Dom. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell just so you don't miss any content coming your way. Kicking us off was J.R.McNutt with Crossroads, and that was chosen by our founder of Live in the Living Room, James. Be sure to follow J.R.McNutt on his social media handles just below. Coming up next, though, is an artist that was chosen by the award-winning D.C. Brown. Here is Sarah Yo with her song, Losing Track of the Days.
Like there's no tomorrow. I noticed Mr. Blackbird, he's singing from the old oak tree, and it lifts my soul
Absolutely fantastic, Sarah. That was brilliant. Be sure to follow Sarah on social media. Her handles are just below. Be sure to follow DC Brown as well, the award-winning DC Brown. His handles are also below here. Coming up next is an artist from the founder and managing director of Bells and Gals, Nick Cantwell. Here is the amazing singer and songwriter Laura Beckwith with her song Hurt Me Too.
So many ways to say it's not you, it's me. No, I can barely breathe. I don't wanna bring this all down on you, but I can't get to sleep. Tell me, is it only me? Thinking lately, we've been getting way too comfortable with the way we just go around and around and try to hate me, or just is something to break us down. I wish you were so perfect, so I could break your heart. I wish that you deserved it, 'cause you're making this so hard. I really don't wanna hurt you, so why don't you hurt me too? My mother's always asking of you, wonders if I found the one, and I don't know how to tell her that I gotta start over. Maybe it's worse than I thought. When I break my heart's than yours, I just don't know how to tell you. And lately, loving you is insufferable. It's the way we just go around and around and try to hate me, or just is something wrong. I wish you weren't so perfect, so I could break your heart. I wish that you deserved it, 'cause you're making this so hard. I really don't wanna hurt you, so why don't you hurt me too? Hurt me too, yeah. Hurt me too, so why don't you just make one mistake? Try for me, not to my face, or give me away. I can give you the blame, 'cause I've run out of reasons to stay. I wish you weren't so perfect, so I could break your heart. I wish that you deserved it, 'cause you're making this so hard. I really don't wanna hurt you, so why don't you hurt me too? Hurt me too, yeah. Hurt me too, yeah. Hurt me too. Hurt me too.
Laura is absolutely amazing. That was just stunning. That was Nick Cantwell's choice this week here on Live in the Living Room. Make sure you're following Laura. Her handles are just below. So yes, you're tuned into Live in the Living Room, episode 7. Are you following us on social media? You'll be the first to know the lineup of each episode and when each show is released. You can even send us a message to be our next guests here on the show. And as always, hit that subscribe button, the bell, and maybe share to a friend or two. Coming up next is a selection from James's right-hand woman. She's the founder of Scarlet River Management, and as always, her choices are top-notch. Rachel Selleck's choice now, with Stuart Rolfe, with Bell for You.
a spirit like the wind, was a little bit wild and crazy. Nothing tied me down. Man, those days are hazy. On that cold December night, girl, that's when you came. Yeah, right then and there, I knew my life had changed. 'Cause I fell for you, that adorable little smile. Oh, I fell for you, girl, you drove me wild. Oh, I fell for you, that innocent little kiss. Oh, I fell for you, baby, and I didn't even know I did. A few short months later, managed to make you mine. Had me wrapped around your finger, spending all my time. From the beaches of Jamaica to the lights of the Vegas scene, all the signs were showing clearly that you were the one for me. Oh, I fell for you, pretty as a picture in the sun. Oh, I fell for you, now I know the only one. Oh, I fell for you, and I wanna be your man. Fell for you, baby, and you don't know what I have planned. No. Down on the boardwalk, on a warm old Lambda night, the lights are bouncing off the water. Yeah, it was a time, was alright. And I fell for you, and I got down on one knee. Oh, I fell for you, and asked you to marry me. Oh, I fell for you, the rest of my life. Oh, I fell for you, now you're gonna be my wife. Oh, I fell for you, I'm lucky as can be. Fell for you, baby, thank God you fell for me. Oh, fell for you, baby, thank God you fell for me.
That was brilliant as always. Stuart Rolfe with Fell For You. Be sure to give him a follow on social media. His handles are just below. And give Scarlet River a follow as well. Keep up to date with all the wonderful artists they have on their roster. Coming up next is the interview segment of the show. It was supposed to be in the last episode, but for some technical reasons, some mysterious forces were in the way. Here she is, Celine Ellis, chatting with me.
Hi, Celine.
Hey Dom, how are you?
Absolutely fantastic. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, good. I'm a little bit tired this morning, but I'm okay. All good.
Really, what have you been up to before we get into the crux of the matters?
So much stuff at the minute. So I've been busy kind of promoting my previous single, which we've just heard, Fallen Angel, and that's gone so well. I'm so pleased with the feedback I've received and the number of radio plays across the globe. Actually, it's been played in Australia, America, Canada, some European countries. It's been superb. I'm so pleased. But as is the nature of the music business, we're always working on the next thing. So I was up quite late last night. I received the final master of the next single from the guys in the studio last night. So all exciting times ahead again.
Ooh, I mean, I totally get what you mean, with the whole, it is the nature of the beast with the music industry and being an artist or being a content provider, creator as such. It is one thing after another, and you've always kind of like got to be 4, 5, 10 steps ahead, thinking about, okay, then so there's this release next, and then a couple of weeks or months down the line, it's like, oh, they got to think about that, and then it might be an EP, or then it might be an album.
Yeah. So while Fallen Angel was being released, I was already kind of recorded in the studio with the two guys I'm working with now for the next single and the singles after that as well. So it's kind of like it's almost like a bit of a split personality thing, because obviously I'm dead excited about Fallen Angel and getting it out there and getting people's feedback and how well that's gone. But then I'm already working on the next project, so it's like I've got to flip between the two versions of me, which is kind of a bit of a strange thing, but exciting, totally exciting. I love the kind of the UK kind of country scene that I've kind of stumbled myself into during the last kind of 18 months. It's brilliant.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, it's. I just want to quickly go to Fallen Angel now, because we've just heard it there. And one thing, when you compare the two songs that you've just performed there as an acoustic acoustic version, and then when you compare it to what you've released, the quality of your voice is.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I mean, with the released version, you that kind of like reverb to it that kind of creates that haunted sound. But when you've got just your pure voice, that really strikes something different. It really opens up that emotion to the song as well.
That's what I was kind of hoping for, really. I mean, this is the first time I've been recording in a studio for a long time. I've been, as you know, during lockdown, I've recorded all my previous releases in my little home studio, predominantly on my own, with a little bit of outside help here and there. So this is the first time I've been working with producers and session musicians on the track. So we've got live drums and the electric lead guitar that Matt Bishop has put on there, which is exactly how I wanted it. I said to him, "Can we have a ghost slide guitar?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "What?" I said, "I want it to sound like, so you don't hear the note starting or ending, it just kind of comes in and then goes out again." He goes, "Do you mean like this?" And I was like, "Oh my God, yes, exactly like that."
Yeah.
And that kind of interaction that we had being back in the studio has just really kind of inspired me even more now with the arrangements that we can do and the sound we can get. But just me and my acoustic guitar is essentially, that's me. That's how I perform. That's how I do my live shows. So to kind of be able to kind of showcase both of those sides of me is really important to me, definitely.
I mean, one thing that you've just mentioned there about the acoustic guitar, that's one of the instruments that you always listen out for, because that's usually, heavy within, particularly country music. And listen to you play the guitar, starting off with just the finger pick, just the picking, to then gradually getting quicker and quicker and quicker to the strum, and then everything just kind of, it speeds up, but not in a way that's just way too fast. It adds that extra kind of, that depth, that kind of gravitas that it needs, and it does.
That's kind of where I go with it when I'm playing it, because the song itself, which is about somebody who's really down on their luck, they're struggling, for whatever reason it might be. I didn't kind of specify to a certain extent, because I wanted people who have been in that situation to relate, without me kind of telling them this is what you're relating to. And those people then, it starts out, serene, simple, because that's probably how the surface of their world is kind of being portrayed. And then as we kind of dig a bit deeper, it gets a bit grittier and a little bit more oomph to it. And then the kind of instrumental bit in the middle, where I'm kind of like really beating my guitar up, really, is kind of the point where in my head I can see those people really kind of, lifting themselves off their knees and getting back on their feet and really getting ready to fly again, as the chorus kind of sings. So
yeah, now
telling the story with the music as well as the words, basically, I think it's an easy way to say it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like asking cliche questions, but Fallen Angel, where did that come from? In terms of lyrics.
So I didn't really want it to be about my own experiences, but I took a break from music for a number of years after the band I was in kind of fell apart, drifted apart, and I kind of fell out with music a little bit. And I wrote this quite early on in my kind of steps back into music, written in February 2020, just before the world closed. And it was really kind of probably subconsciously about me a little bit, but I wanted to write a song for people who, you know, on a daily basis, they're kind of fighting every single day, whether that's addiction or bad relationship choices, or, you know, just really kind of needing a break in life. And there's people out there that you don't see on the surface because they always smile, but deep down they're, you know, they're kind of fighting their own personal battles on a daily basis, but they manage to get themselves up every morning and kind of get on with stuff. And someone actually wrote a brilliant review about it, saying sometimes it's not necessarily about flying again. Sometimes just getting out of bed in the morning is the achievement to some people, and that's absolutely true. But yeah, the third verse, which is all about you should hear her when she sings, it helps her mend her broken wings. That's possibly the most introspective lyric in there. Not kind of being big-headed about my own singing, but certainly I've found that music most definitely is my go-to place for when I'm down or my mental health is struggling. Music is the thing that kind of lifts me up every single time. Whether listening to someone else's music or my own music, and getting stuck into that now. So that's kind of where the song came from, is wanting to kind of have that inspirational song available for people to kind of connect with. And so many people have messaged me and said, oh my goodness, you just don't know how much I needed that song right now. So I'm quite glad I waited until now to release it as well.
Now, right at the start, you mentioned new single. Can you give us any kind of hint or?
Yeah. So it's a completely different twist for me. It's quite a deep, meaningful, somber, melancholy. I've got a pianist involved.
Ooh.
So we've got baby grand piano, Fender Rhodes electric piano, and organ in there, which sounds beautiful. There's acoustic lead guitars in there, kind of complementing the piano sound, and it's quite a stripped back sound. Brush drums, no heavy drumming, but it tells a breakup. It's a breakup song at the end of the day, but it's a breakup for all the right reasons. This new single, which is something that you can't always see straight away, but the feedback I've had when I've played it live is people have cried, which is not necessarily a great thing, but certainly an emotional connection with it. So
I'd say that was an amazing thing that people cried. I mean,
it wouldn't normally be a song that I would release, but so many people have said to me it's just an emotional connection for them, or even if they don't even relate to the exact situation, they said the way it kind of comes across is just something that should be out there in the world. So,
by the way, it's for everybody. The reason why I say it's amazing that people are crying is in terms of being a songwriter, you want to be able to write something that
absolutely
and really engages those emotions.
Definitely.
Crying, physically crying, is one of, or physically smiling or laughing or singing out loud, is those connections that people have with music, and it's amazing to hear.
But for me, it beats, you know, streams on Spotify or sales, CD sales or anything like that. Those kind of connections, and when people reach out to me and say, "Oh my goodness, I heard that song and I relate to it," or "I can't stop singing that song. It's on my favorite playlist. Or when I'm in the car, I'm always singing it." And that's the kind of thing that really kind of inspires me to kind of do more music, write more music. So much more than the number of streams that a song has had or anything like that. Try to, not necessarily always kind of steering away from looking at how many numbers of everything. It's kind of a numbers world these days, but I try my best to quantify success by those connections and the interactions at gigs and stuff like that.
That's awesome. Now, for the single, for when it's released, because you haven't given a date yet, I won't push for a date because that's a bit too much. But where can people find you on social media? So keep an eye out for that release.
So Facebook and Instagram is at Celine Ellis Music, all one word. Same for YouTube, actually, at Celine Ellis Music. That's where you'll find me most. I have got a Twitter account, as you know, Dom, but I'm not frequent on Twitter. I dislike. It's where angry people live, as I told you back at the beginning of the year when we last chatted. Not that you're an angry person, but I just don't get on with the whole Twitterverse. So Instagram is where you'll find me most, or on Facebook.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you again.
Thanks, Dom. I hope to see you soon.
That is the conversation I had with the brilliant Celine Ellis, where she actually performed her latest track, Fallen Angel, and gave us a sneak insight into what is coming up next. Be sure to head on over to iTunes or wherever you get your music and check her out. Be sure to follow her on social media as well to keep up to date with everything. Her handles are just below. Just another reminder though, tickets are still available for our Live in the Living Room Gives Back event in the Bedford pub in London. This is on November the 7th. Be sure to head on over to our social media pages just below, and that's where you can find information on the tickets. Coming up next is the instructional and advice segment of the show, and where if you're an upcoming artist or a seasoned pro and you want to hone your techniques in the music industry, we provide you with some of the answers to the key questions. Here is Maddie Cordes bringing us the basics in keyboard and piano.
Hi, I'm Maddie Cordes from Maddie for Music, and I'm just going to show you some real basics on the piano or keyboard to get you started. First of all, to understand that middle C on the piano is very important. So the musical alphabet goes A to G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's nothing after that, no H, I, J, K, or the rest of the alphabet. But middle C is pretty much in the middle of your piano or keyboard, and it's to the left of the two black notes that you can see. And on the piano, the pattern is repeated. So you've got lots of C, D, E, F, G, back to A, B, C, octaves, as we call them, 8 notes, all along the piano. And that's the first one, starting from middle C, and then if I carry on upwards, so depending on the size of your keyboard, pianos are pretty much standard, you'll probably have at least 8 octaves of notes like that. So find middle C as a start, and what we're going to look at is the 3 basic chords that can get you started accompanying yourself and playing. So the first thing is, what is a chord? Well, it's typically 3 notes together played at the same time. So to make a basic C chord, I'm going to put my thumb on C here, and then I'm going to skip the next note, D. I'm not going to play that one. I'm going to put my 3rd finger, we call them thumb 1, and then 3rd finger on E. So I'm playing C and E together, and then I'm missing out F, playing that quietly, and then it's G. So we've got C, D, E, F, G. I'm going to just choose C, E and G and play them together at the same time. And we can add in the left hand a C just to make it sound a bit deeper and richer. Can you hear that? So that's the most common chord. Then the next one is an F chord. So move up your fingers from thumb on middle C up to F, C, D, E, F. Put your thumb on that, F, and then make the same, what we call a triad, the 1, 3 and 5 with your fingers. F will be G, A, B, C, and play those together. And that's the F chord. And the last one we're going to learn is the G chord, which starts on the next note. So we've gone from C to E, E, D, E, F, back up to G. We're just going to go one more to G, put our thumb on G, G, A, B, C, D. So I'm playing a G chord. So just to recap, go back to your thumb on middle C, which is to the left the two black notes, C, E, G, C chord. Let's go up a bit with our thumb, four notes to F, F chord, and just one note up for a G chord. And we can add the left hand for that as well. A little combination of chords there. What I meant was add the left hand, add the single note that's the bottom of your, it's the bass note of your chord. So it'll be a C, an F with an F chord, or a G with a G chord. What I was doing a little bit there was mixing up the notes. So they can sound quite boring in the end, can't they? Like this. If we want to make it sound more interesting when we're moving from chord to chord, known as a chord progression, we can play the notes in a different order. So taking C as an example, and this is something called inverting the chords, basically turning them upside down or mixing them up a bit. So instead of playing C, E, G, we could start with the E of the chord and play the G. So I've got my thumb on E, play the G, and then take the next C. And remember I said there were patterns of octaves, so it all repeats again. Just find the next C where the two black notes are to the left of that. So I'm taking that higher C. So that is also a C chord, but the notes are played in a different order. To recap, they're played E, G, C, and that's called a first inversion. And just to finish off on that, for a second inversion, hopefully you can guess, we're going to start on the third note of the chord, which was in this case G. So we had C, E, G in the C chord. I'm going to play the G first, then I'm going to play the C, and then the E. So I'm going ahead and picking out those notes in the next octave, and that's the second inversion. So to finish, let's play all three of those. A C chord at the bass position, at the first inversion, and the second inversion. So hopefully that's given you some food for thought, and it can get you start playing with your basic C, F and G chords. Good luck.
Thank you, Maddie, for coming on and breaking down the piano and keyboard. Give Maddie a follow on her social media handles, which are just below. If you would like to feature on Live in the Living Room, whether it's a performance or an instructional advice video or a chat with myself, give me, James or Rachel a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Coming up next though is an artist that was chosen by Trey. Here is Ella Gibson with Wrong Generation.
Born in
Thank you so much, Trey, for bringing Ella into Living the Living Room. Be sure to give her a follow on social media. Her handles are just below. Thank you for tuning to this week's Live in the Living Room. I've been your host, Dom. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell just so you don't miss on any future content. Here is our final performance of the show, chosen by the angel of the airways, Jess T. Here is Jess Breame with Keeper of Secrets. Bye for now.